This is Mike Israetel. Damn it, Greg, he is a doctor. Dr. Mike? You guys have heard of this guy before, I am sure. I did a comparison between Mike Israetel and Greg Doucette a while back. Got a pretty good reception, I must say. You guys really liked it. And considering I enjoy views, and I'm sure all the other YouTubers out there would agree, we do like views. So we're going to do a bit of a rematch this time. We're going to do things a little bit differently, though. This is Mike Israetel in 2020. And as far as NPC News Online is concerned, it's the first competition that I can get pictures of. And he doesn't have the best structure, albeit, trying to sound intelligent here, but he does bring a respectable amount of muscle, good legs, things of that nature. Now, here's the interesting part. Here is Mike in 2023, and there is a notable improvement. So this video is not meant to just discredit Mike. I guess like the last one did kind of seem that way. And Mike finally competed in 2024, and here's the side-by-side 2023 and 2024, and tell me if I'm wrong, but did he not improve? Look at the size of his legs. I absolutely would suggest that he improved. But his tan sucks. And I did hear a lot about that. His tan kind of ruined his finish. So realistically, it's less of an excuse and more of a reason why he didn't look as good. Now here's his 2020 showcase. And it is obvious. First of all, he's holding his arms way too straight. Why do you do that? Beirut Tabani does the same thing. Wouldn't say it in front of his face or Mike's. He's an angry man. He does that lay down stuff with other guys. He takes them down. Not what you guys were thinking. He takes them down and he beats on them. But we're not talking about that right now, or his aggression in the gym. We're talking about bodybuilding results. And let's face it, yes, he had respectable amount of muscle, but he was not going to bring the shreds, the peeled type condition. This is him in 2023. Now you go to 2024, and I do think he was slightly more conditioned. Not what I would call peeled or anything like that. You got to respect those lat insertions too. Not too bad. Now rewind back to 2020, and did you see that? It looks like he has striated glutes here, to be honest. Here's a triad of Mike Israetels. 3 Mike Israetels. Sizing, probably should have made 2020 a little bit smaller. He's bending at the knees, but come on. Take a look. Tell me if I'm wrong. Am I blind? I've been accused of that before, but it looks like to me Mike dieted his hardest. He was his most conditioned in 2020. Well, that's not the case. That's not the case. He could have been fatter for the other versions before he started his diet. And that actually makes you suffer worse. So it could be a situation where he's putting a little bit too much of a layer on when he's going into the off season. Needs to lose a little bit of weight to get to those shreds. And that is Mike Israetel, I guess. And this is Greg Doucette. Now, before I launch into Greg Doucette, these guys obviously both have a huge social media following, YouTube channels, things of that nature. One reason, perhaps, that you guys did want to see this once again. This is Greg back in 2013. And he was peeled. We're talking showroom quality. It's because he's a pro bodybuilder. Mike is not. He is trying to get his pro card. He'd have to win one of those shows that he was placing like 5th, 7th, things of that nature. Now, Greg, he did win his amateur shows to get his pro card, and this is him in 2013, like I said. And fast forward all the way to 2016, and honestly, Greg Doucette was very consistent. He did make some improvements there, obviously, delts, things of that nature, but he always brought condition we're talking. Hamstrings, glutes. What do you want, Christmas tree? He brought it. He brought it. So in terms of bodybuilding know-how, things of that nature, who knows more, Mike Israetel or Greg Doucette? Well, I guess whoever wins the debate. But debate and actual practical application, I guess, are two different things. Are they not? So you have one guy who claims to know everything, and he has the better answers, what have you, in Mike Israetel. So from what I understand, and then you get Greg Doucette, who actually has, like I said, practical application to achieve pro cards, top level condition, things of that nature. So perhaps it is in the diet, not the training so much for Mike Israetel, because obviously the guy knows how to train. He got some wheels there. And as far as his arms are concerned, I think that's just genetics. He did not win the genetic lottery. Hey, that wasn't his way. I'm sorry, Mike. Terry, my editor, or whatever you call him. He's getting old. He was just fooling around there. Just fooling around. So please don't beat me up if you see me. Now, when it comes to the condition of the backs, if you were looking for a comparison, a picture comparison, I guess you can look at the other one if you want. But really, guys, there's just no comparing these two. Mike Israetel looks like he's a month out. And these are the older ones when he was a little bit more conditioned in the glutes. But he's just a month out. But you know what? I've seen videos of him. He's eating cereal. It might have even been when he was prepping for a competition. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I watched a couple of Greg Doucette videos about him and sometimes propaganda. You know what I'm saying? And no, Greg, I'm not calling you a liar. That's not what I'm saying. You're my homeboy. You're from Nova Scotia, things of that nature. I'm close by. I won't say where from. You forgot to get your bread, now it's late. Greg, do you know what song that is? You forgot to get your bread, now it's late. Asked you in another video. You didn't answer me. You wouldn't answer me. Here I am, being nice enough to be honest, saying you're beating Mike Israetel. Mike could very well beat me up over that. I don't think he will, though. I don't think he will. I think you're a nice guy, Mike, deep down inside. A little bit of anger issues. I definitely will say that. You want to hurt people? I don't know. Wouldn't you rather give somebody a couple of bucks? You hand somebody a couple of bucks, and then they're like, "Wow, thanks, man. A couple of bucks." So Mike Israetel, definitely no hate or criticism towards him. Hey, he did improve, for sure. And as far as Greg Doucette, you guys know by now I like Greg. I followed him for a long time. We're both Maritimers, of course. But here is something that will forever link Mark's Max Muscle and Greg Doucette. Have a look, if you will, at Ballard Muscle. This is a YouTube channel, and as you can see, Greg, he is using your supplement, the Turk. The Turk, ladies and gentlemen. And do you know who Ballard Muscle is? He's Trey Ballard, otherwise known as Trey Hulk. He is the Mark's Max Muscle Invitational Champion. That's right, Greg. I do my own little competition where I hand out a cash award. Actually handed out $500 crisp dollars. That was the official cash award. $500 went to Trey Ballard, Trey Hulk, and he won using your supplement, Greg. So perhaps next year for the Mark's Max Muscle Invitational could be sponsored by the Turk, and the cash award would be handed out by Greg, so he could sponsor this. Maybe he could hand out like $100,000 for the next year's Mark's Max Invitational. I'm just joking. But anyway, Greg, all seriousness, Trey Ballard, he won my competition, and he was using your supplements. So get a hold of him. Maybe he could be a sponsored athlete, a Greg Doucette athlete himself. And it was 500 Canadian, by the way, in case you were wondering why you got whatever it was. I can't remember what it added up to, American-wise. Maybe next year it'll be 500 American. Who knows? If Greg sponsors it, it could be 5,000 American. Hit thumbs up on the video and follow Mike Israetel and Greg Doucette. Why not? And myself. Have a nice one.